Dorothy's life in Kansas is defined by an ocean of gray. The sun has baked the plowed land into a cracked, pale crust, and the adults raising her, Uncle Henry and Aunt Em, are gaunt, overworked, and have long since forgotten how to smile. That stagnant reality shatters when a massive cyclone touches down. It rips the small farmhouse completely off its foundation, trapping Dorothy inside as it is carried miles into the sky. She survives, only to have the house crash into the vibrant, lethal landscape of Oz, immediately crushing the Wicked Witch of the East upon impact. Dorothy inherits the dead witch's magical silver shoes, but her only instinct is to escape back to the grim prairie she knows. She places all her hope on a distant figure called the Great Oz to fix her displacement and send her home. On her journey down the yellow brick road, she recruits a trio of physically fragmented traveling companions. First is the Scarecrow. He is convinced that because his head is stuffed with straw, he is completely devoid of intelligence and doomed to be a fool. Next is the Tin Woodman. Chopped apart and rebuilt limb by limb by a tinsmith, he assumes his hollow metal chest leaves him incapable of experiencing empathy or love. Finally, they meet the massive Lion. He experiences intense fear at any sign of danger, which he believes makes him a coward and entirely unworthy of his title as King of Beasts. This creates a dangerous dynamic. They bond over their perceived deficits. Instead of looking inward, they place absolute, unquestioning faith in a mysterious wizard to bestow the pieces they think they are missing. The yellow brick road leads them into an overgrown, hostile forest that puts their stated weaknesses to the test immediately. When they encounter a deep, impassable ditch, it is the supposedly brainless Scarecrow who solves the problem. He calculates the distance, realizes the Lion can jump it, and volunteers to ride his back first in case they fall. Faced with a second, wider gulf, the Scarecrow directs the Woodman to chop down a massive tree to create a makeshift bridge. Without realizing it, the Straw Man acts as the group's chief tactician. While the Scarecrow handles strategy, the Tin Woodman exercises extreme emotional caution. He walks with his eyes glued to the ground, weeping until his metal jaw rusts shut after accidentally stepping on a small beetle. Later, when a wildcat chases a small field mouse, the Hollow Woodman doesn't hesitate. He swings his axe and decapitates the predator, risking his artificial body to save a helpless creature. Through their spontaneous actions under pressure, the Man of Straw serves as the intellectual architect, and the Man of Tin operates as the moral compass. The forest then introduces the Kaladeaux, monstrous predators with bear bodies and tiger heads that cannot be reasoned with or outsmarted. The Lion expects the beasts to tear him apart, yet he steps forward, places himself between the predators and his friends, and unleashes a deafening roar to hold the line. He experiences paralyzing terror, but chooses to risk his life for others anyway. He demonstrates the exact definition of courage. They survive the forest and reach the Emerald City, an architectural illusion. Every visitor is forced to wear locked-on green spectacles, manipulating how they perceive the environment. Here, the Great Oz isolates the travelers. He appears to them individually as terrifying illusions, a giant floating head, a multi-eyed beast, a ball of intense fire, to assert dominance. He refuses to grant their wishes. Instead, he leverages their deep-seated insecurities, demanding they assassinate the Wicked Witch of the West before they can earn the traits they so desperately want. Convinced they are incomplete without the wizard's magic, the group obeys. They march directly into hostile territory. The witch sends 40 wolves, a flock of wild crows, and a swarm of black bees to destroy them. The companions survive by combining their physical strength and quick thinking to eliminate every wave. Out of options, the witch uses the golden cap to summon a swarm of winged monkeys. The monkeys systematically dismantle the group. They drop the Tin Woodman onto the jagged rocks, rip out the Scarecrow straw, chain the Lion in a yard, and force Dorothy into slavery. Their total physical destruction is the direct result of their reliance on the wizard. They willingly walked into a lethal trap to beg for the very qualities they had already displayed in the forest. When Frank Baum wrote the story, he stated his goal was to create a modernized fairy tale, keeping the wonder but leaving out the nightmares and heartaches. Yet his characters end up lying broken, dismembered, and enslaved in a dark castle. The irony is that the journey had already made them whole. Through mutual survival, the fool became a brilliant strategist, the hollow man a sensitive protector, and the coward a brave defender. True capability doesn't come from a deceptive external authority granting you permission to be whole. It is earned by relying on your own internal strength when the road gets dangerous.